Hello, this is a discussion of the recent claim of a discovery of microfossils on a meteorite. This is March 15th, 2011. Happy belated Pi Day, everybody. I really, sorry I missed it. Pi Day was yesterday, March 14th, in other words, 3.14. But anyway, it's belated, but happy Pi Day. I really appreciate all the new subscriptions and all the new people who've been PMing me in the past week. It's just been phenomenal. If I haven't responded to you, please do not be offended. It's just been so many. You're greatly appreciated. And I'm going to just very briefly ask for the help of this audience in the issue of the direction you want the Continuum Hypothesis is True channel to go in. I feel like I'm branching in different directions, and I kind of need some assistance here. If you want elementary mathematics, if you want homework help and math homework help, you need a thumbs up on those videos, basically, or just a PM saying you like those videos. If you want more on formal logic and philosophy, continuum hypothesis, I need to know that you want more. If you want astrobiology, I need to know that you guys want that. There's not going to be, if you want more ranting and raving, I probably won't accommodate you, but let me know if you do. And so we're kind of at an identity crisis, at an impasse here. I keep wanting to get back to elementary math, but the problem is I'm not getting the feedback that people want. You know, if you're a math teacher and it's helping you with lesson planning, that'd be great. I might be praising myself too much by saying that, but if it is, it'd be nice to know. Okay, so that's my appeal to the audience. Let's get into the meat of the subject here. We have a, I've never really discussed the artwork here. It's not mine, most of it, so it's not, but it's just kind of it's a member of the household. We have very, very colorful artists there. But anyway, neither here nor there. Getting back to it, recently a NASA scientist has claimed, or a scientist affiliated with NASA has claimed to have discovered what he believes are extraterrestrial fossils, meaning microfossils or some type. Actually, I don't think they're microfossils. I think they're I'm not quite sure what size they are, but they are fossils inside of a meteorite that he believes are of extraterrestrial origin. And the implication for panspermia, meaning the idea that life originated in outer space, would be, the implications for that theory would be phenomenal. The bottom line is that if his claim is true, then we have revolutionized astrobiology. We've revolutionized our understanding of life on Earth. Now, the problem is, it wasn't but 48 hours after he broke the story that NASA interrupted and said, no, we don't stand behind this because it hasn't been peer-reviewed. Well, of course it hasn't been peer-reviewed. It's only been 48 hours. So it's a little bit of a circular argument here. Of course, it can't be peer-reviewed once something's released. Nothing's peer-reviewed 48 hours after the story breaks. But actually it was peer-reviewed. He went to various experts and got their opinion on it, and they seemed to be positive that there might be something there. So my sense of NASA, and in this way I may sound like a lot of the kind of conspiracy people on YouTube when it comes to the issue of NASA. It is but obviously I don't go as far as they do. It is a political agency. And it will be subject to all kinds of political pressures and the winds of what, let's say, certain institutions, certain ideologies, philosophies, and yes, perhaps even religions would want. And therefore, I don't believe that they can necessarily be fully scientifically objective about everything. Understand something, that true science is not a democracy. It's not decided by a show of hands. And true, honest science is not a bureaucracy. True, honest science is decided by the evidence. And the evidence in a case like this particular claim of fossils fossils found within this meteorite. Sorry, I'm stumbling on words today. That particular claim is best decided by, in my opinion, by a statistician, okay, or a number of statisticians. Those are going to be the most honest scientists you have, okay? We have a number of, I actually believe that there are a lot of people who are scientists who will acknowledge that these are life forms of some type, you know, actual fossils, but they'll claim that it's Earth contamination, which is definitely possible. Okay, that was the dominant theme for a while. Then it switched to some skeptic blogger somewhere claiming that, no, these are really just patterns found in the rock, you know, carvings or etchings or some kind of, you know, non-living process. Maybe it's organic in some broad chemical sense, but not signs of living organisms. Okay. Well, I would say that the best way to resolve this would, again, be a statistical argument. Let's take our 2 standard deviations from the norm here, okay, as our baseline. And let's take either of these 2 arguments. Earth fossils, in other words, something that could cladistically be determined to be an Earth organism, an Earth bacteria, or some type of single-celled Earth organism, and see if these microfossils on the meteorite fall within 2 standard deviations of that, in which case, you know, we have to throw out the claim. 2 standard deviations is the generally accepted norm. For the most part, we would have to throw out the claim. I mean, we would at least have to, the scientists would at least have to review his work, okay? And the same thing you could say for these, the other claim that these purported fossils are just simply some geological feature. I have a feeling they would be outside of the 2 standard deviations norm on that. Okay, I think that the more probable of those 2 would be that it would be Earth contamination. However, if the mathematical analysis comes back and it is shown that a number of those fossils at least are well out of range, that they're well out of statistical range for being anything that we've seen on Earth, then you have to conclude that the null hypothesis is questionable. The null hypothesis being that, of course, that this is no big deal, it's just an Earth phenomenon. You would have to conclude that the null hypothesis is questionable, and by definition, you have a mystery. By definition, you have something that then needs to be scientifically analyzed. It doesn't matter what NASA says. It doesn't matter what some great biologist says. It doesn't matter what some authority figure says. Science isn't determined by what so-and-so says. Science is determined by the evidence. Okay, I'm not saying I believe that these are extraterrestrial fossils. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm just a little guy out here, but this is just basic common sense that you don't interfere with the peer review process 48 hours after a breaking story. And it's also common sense to me that NASA does have its interests to look out for, that there might be, I don't know, environmental laws that could, if there were some form of life on Mars, you know, that might interfere with the colonization program. But I'm not saying that that's NASA's reasons. It's also entirely possible that NASA just wants to distance itself after some political embarrassments in the past. Whatever the reason is, this is science. This isn't politics. And I think we should give this scientist a chance. You know, if panspermia turns out to be correct, then it will revolutionize, or at least maybe multiple genesises, maybe some origins on Earth and some from space. Whatever the case, it would revolutionize our understanding of what life is. For one thing, it might mean that life is more uniform than we've presupposed. It could be that carbon-based life is more broadly distributed than we've supposed, and we don't need to go looking at silicon or something like that. And if that's the case, that will do wonders for the actual search for extraterrestrial, well, I almost said intelligence there. What I meant to say would be to search for planets that might conceivably support some kind of life. Interesting slip I just made. But anyway, I'm running down on time. The short end of it is I think we should keep an open mind on this meteorite issue, and hopefully the evidence will be forthcoming. Thank you.